Test. Ja, für den Stream, genau, ja. Was müssen wir machen? Ist schon live. Hallo? Test. Musst du dann vielleicht ein bisschen hochgehen, oder? All right, so welcome everybody. Welcome to the Student Innovation Lab Final Pitches 2024. My name is Max Riedel. I'm heading the Zeiss Innovation Hub at KIT, and I'd also like to welcome you very warmly in the name of Zeiss. We've been actually with Zeal almost from year one, from year two, and Zeal has been with us, so to say, from our founding year. So I'm very much looking forward. It's always a highlight of the year to see what you've been doing and what you've been developing throughout 1 year. And it's very impressive also to see that actually from a basically team formation throughout all the idea formation all the way to a working prototype and a business model behind it, and sometimes even really a spin-off. So very impressive, and looking forward what we're gonna see today. I'll take the pointer or the clicker. Yes, thank you. And it's my pleasure to also give you a very quick introduction to where you are here, right? So you're at the Zeiss Innovation Hub at KIT. The idea here is that we bring together corporate people, we bring together startups, and we bring together the research of KIT in one ecosystem. Before I go a little bit quicker on that, allow me a few words about Zeiss. And tell you where we come from and why this is important for today. So these are the two founders of Zeiss, Carl Zeiss, well, the founder himself, who was actually an entrepreneur, and then Ernst Abbe, who was a professor for optics, and actually was the inventor of some, or the discoverer of some of the basic laws of optics. And only when those two guys met, actually, and when science met the entrepreneurial spirit and the craftsmanship, this was kind of the foundation of Zeiss, which is a 175-year-old company by now, or a couple of years more actually. And but the spirit of those two lives on today. So it actually lives in that building, right? It's this combination of scientific depth and expertise, and then the entrepreneurial drive and the craftsmanship behind it. And this lives on especially here because everything we do here at the Innovation Hub also is, of course, in a very close partnership with universities, just as the Student Innovation Lab. Zeiss is a company by today, so after the last 175 years, it had grown to a little bit above 10 billion revenue. And many of you might know Zeiss from the consumer markets, from the glasses. But actually, as you can see, this is our smallest business, and there's also a very important business in medical technology. That's also something we're doing here. Industrial quality control and research. This is where also microscopes are, where the Zeiss was founded on. And then our biggest department by now is semiconductor business. So it's lithography optics for producing chips. To give you a bit more kind of background why we do this here at the Hub, and why it's also important for us to get in touch with you guys. So the corporate people all know this model of Horizon 1 to Horizon 3 innovation. So what is that? That is basically saying Horizon 1 innovation is the core of your company. This is what you earn money with, right? And this way you have a big product portfolio where you have a big developer team to develop the next generation product. You have relatively low uncertainty because you know your markets, you know your customers, but you have to be fast and you have big resources on that. Then comes Horizon 2. This is where you kind of try to go into adjacent markets, where you stretch out your feelers a bit to adjacencies. Uncertainty is higher, the investment is lower, but it's still something you kind of feel familiar with, right? And then comes Horizon 3, and this is typically where companies stop. And this is really kind of the new to the company thing. This is really completely new areas where the company might go into, where you have to really have high strategic thinking why you should go into that. And I would argue, well, there's also Horizon 4 that normally at companies nobody talks about. This is where universities are. This is where it's not about new to the company. This is where it's about new to the world. And our role at the Hub is actually exactly that, transferring things from Horizon 4 to Horizon 2, being in Horizon 3, so to say, right? And so what we try to do is transfer topics and research topics, but also people and talent. So our mission is turning today's research into tomorrow's applications, together with partners. And this is very theoretical, so what do we do practically? Actually, one floor below, you would find labs and the research departments, and there's two focus topics. One is medical robotics, especially robotic-assisted surgery. So that's about assisting a surgeon with precision robotics, with sensors, with actuators. And of course, there's a lot of software in that as well. So it's actually more software than it's hardware. And the other one is photonic sensing systems. There's two parts to it. There's reducing optical systems to chip size. So the same thing that happened with electronics over the last 50 years. And basically shrinking optics to microchip size. And for a photonics company, it's obvious why that's important for us. And the second thing is photonic sensing, especially multispectral sensing and multimodal sensing. So there we're looking at using the full spectrum of light and using RGB images and that spectrum of light and even additional sensors to basically combine all those to do, for example, very precise material characterization, which becomes more and more important in circular economy and sustainability topics. And with this, I think that's my last slide. Let's see, one more. And this is, well, obviously, we're also, because we're at the university, we're very involved in a lot of educational topics as well. So Student Innovation Lab is one topic. We do a hackathon every spring. So you mark that in your calendars already. It's a fun event. It's over one weekend, 3 days, basically. Hacking and get some hardware in your hands and do some hardware-connected software development. There's a lecture in the fall called BIOP, Business Innovation in Optics and Photonics. It's aimed primarily at people from optics and photonics, but actually anybody who wants to have kind of an intro to business innovation is welcome to go there. Actually, you guys probably know much more from just SEAL already, so tell it to your friends who maybe want a small introduction into what you've been doing over the last year. Yes, and that's all I wanted to say. If you, no, I don't have that here. Yes, I have that one. So if you want to get in touch and, there's a newsletter we send out quarterly, you can sign up for it and basically get invitations and news on events and also job offerings and so on. So if you're interested in that, sign up for that. And with this, I would hand over to Sören or to... Okay, Orestes or Sören, to both of you, our hosts for the Student Innovation Lab.
Thank you. Second to you. So, also warm welcome from our side. My name is Sören Hohmann, as probably you know me from everywhere and every time and place, I think, in the student.
And my name is Orestes Tertsidis. I'm a professor for entrepreneurship.
Before we start, I want to tell you a story. It popped up in my mind during our lunch, and I want to tell you a story about my BMW time because I heard a rumor of something, how the first cabrio has been invented and at BMW. Because beforehand, all the cars, these nice cars at the very beginning of the BMW area, but then there was one guy in the workspace saying, well, we need something new, and he cut completely off the rooftop. And in the morning on Monday, the CEO went by and saw that. He screamed, but he was, so curious about the new world of BMW's car. And so how it works, I think, to be provocative and to be, doing something new. And this is a rumor. No, it happened really. That's true. So my question for you is, have you been provocative? What do you think? Can you tell me? Provocative with your business ideas? Yes, I say, oh. A little bit louder, please. Yes. Yes, say yes, please. Well, the first, perhaps that's why we talked about Elon Musk and Carl Benz. That's how it changed. This was also the starting of our lunch, where we talked about Elon Musk, and everybody thought it wouldn't be necessary in the future, that electric-driven cars, EVs, are not so important in the future, and everybody said not so important new product. But now it's one of the most valuable businesses in the world, and by far I think it is still the one. And in particular, I found this interesting, but the most interesting part is if you look at the age of the founders. And it's Elon Musk, 24 years, and 41 years old was Carl Benz. And from my perspective, that's why you're sitting here, because you're the new inventors, the inventors of the world's new products. And that's why we are here, because we thought we should use the values of KIT. So I hand over to you. What do you feel of today's event, perhaps, to start with that?
So this morning we had a team meeting at the Antegnon, and I asked Christine, I told her, Christine, I'm excited. And then I took a deep breath and asked, is it okay to be excited? Is it worth it? And she said yes. But she stumbled a bit and didn't speak good English. The team meeting was in English, right? So I said, what's wrong? And she said, it was so much work over the last 2 weeks that it was so tiring listening to all these pitches and everything. So I'm really curious to see what's happening now. And just to also pay into what Søren started saying, I remember I had once a meeting with online meeting with Ken Singer, who is the head of the entrepreneurship center, Siddhartha Entrepreneurship Center in Berkeley, California. And one of the phrases that he always uses is, he says, innovation or entrepreneurship is an act of rebellion. It's an interesting thought, right? I mean, it's an act of rebellion because you challenge the existing ways of doing things and you look for new things. And obviously, you were all in the lecture, so you all learned about Schumpeter's wonderful term of creative destruction, in German, schöpferische Zerstörung, right? So it's not a blind destruction like a war or something where you simply tear down things, but it's always by the act of creating something new, you challenge the existing, you challenge the status quo. And if we can create a framework, and this is what we try to do with SIL, that encourages you to do so and to go into this creative destruction. Yeah, I think then we do something interesting. And even if it's just the first step into that direction, that is where things are interesting. You know, this is where you should develop your senses in a way. And see what can be done. When I was listening to Max, I mean, I was thinking about these optical systems for the production of chips, and I think no modern system, I mean, we know that the chip production is mainly in Taiwan and all these kind of things, but frankly speaking, the basic technology to produce this stuff is really Zeiss, yeah? And now if you think about that, I mean, they had the courage and somehow the vision also, probably some 40, 50 years ago. 80s, I would say, yeah. That's round about what it takes to have something like that coming to maturity, where they somehow left something behind, left a tradition behind and said, okay, there is an interesting new field. And if you think about that, 40 years ago, it was 135 years old. Still not a fresh company. So it really takes also that kind of entrepreneurial spirit, I would say, even in established organizations, to say, we will reinvent ourselves. And this is the only reason why we are in this wonderful building here, right? So it's something that you should take with you into your professional environment, whether you work for BMW, whether you create your own startup, or whether you work for the government, if I'm provocative again, yeah, because even there you need that mentality to say, okay, there is a paradigm and it had its function and it had its logic and it comes from somewhere. Typically, you know, everything comes from somewhere and has its logic. But then at given points in time, you have to question the logic. You have to question, if you take this metaphor from the philosophy of science, that paradigm, you know, Kuhn created that idea of a paradigm shift where you suddenly have the same dots. I mean, you have the stars in the sky in the evening, right? But how we connect these dots and make
Or
them align or a balance or whatever we know, or Sören, right? Whatever we know from Western astronomy. Obviously, if you're in North America, the American Indians had the bison and, I don't know, whatever, their animals, the buffalo.
Yeah, please be provocative. This is first message. And you said also the public sector is also, this means also university. Challenge your teachers.
But not us, okay?
Not us. Yeah, I think
not too much.
Not too much. That's important. You're at the university to do that. So that's the idea. We need you. We need you as a provocative person, as people who are familiar with posing the questions differently, to look from the other side, from top, above, even if everybody looks from the side. So, or is in it, as you mentioned. And sometimes it needs a new environment, but sometimes, and this is my personal feeling, it just needs you. It just needs you in the company, outside of the company. And I'm very, very excited to say, to use the word again, even if...
No, she could.
Yeah, I can. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So we go over and we tell you a little bit about the it's you who is doing that about the roadmap of today's event. And again, warm welcome. Please show us your best side. Thank you.
One is enough. Yeah, you can hand it over later. Sure. Yeah, maybe. Okay, perfect. Welcome to the Student Innovation Lab final pitch. My name is Manuel. I'm a PhD student at the chair of Professor Hohmann, and together with my colleague Lorenz there, who has the most important seat, we are an organization of the Student Innovation Lab. And yeah, after a year of progress, it's super nice to see it come to an end in this amazing final, and here at this special location. And what makes it even better is that so many of you are here today, and we can fill all the chairs. Okay, let me walk you through what you can expect today. So we started with the welcome and the introduction of the Student Innovation Lab. After that, we will hear from our sponsors, from 2 more companies. You already heard from our host Zeiss at the beginning. And yeah, after that, our 4 Student Innovation Lab teams, or better to say our 4 startups, will present their newly developed ideas. We will have the following order. So we'll start with Carbon Shape, followed by Underring, Smolts, and Camcussion at the end. After each of their pitches, you will have time to ask them some questions. Followed by that, we also have Hago Group present themselves. And yeah, after that, our jury, who sits here in the front, will go into separate room and discuss who will be the best product and the best presentation. And additionally, here you in the room have the chance to, also vote for the darling of the public. One remark maybe on that. The problem is we don't have good mobile data here in this building. So if you already want, you can not during the company presentations, but when there is some time, check here is the password for the Wi-Fi and log in already so you can later vote online. Then I'm super happy to announce that we have two former teams, Student Innovation Lab teams here, and they will present how their journey continued. And after that, the jury is coming back and will present the result. And I'm also happy to tell you that Zeiss is inviting us to stay here for even longer and for a networking event. You already saw that there is a lot of food outside and some coffee, and hopefully we can come together later. And the teams, they build up some booths here where they present their prototypes. And additionally, it's super nice that this year we started a new study program together with bachelor students. And they are here today. They took over a part of the task of the students, of the master students from the SIL lab, and they are here and present their part of the work as well. So yeah, feel free to talk to them after the event. A short overview over the last year, what the students experienced. So a year ago, the students, they didn't know each other. They only wanted to work in entrepreneurship. They wanted to create something new. So that's why they applied for the Student Innovation Lab. And they also applied for one of these 4 labs. This is how they then got assigned together as a group. So at the beginning, they started to get to know their technology in the lab. And this is where a lot of ideas came up. A lot of ideas, and then they had to decide on one of these ideas and create a low-fidelity prototype out of their idea. And this was already presented to you in the midterm pitch. During that time, they also heard lectures on entrepreneurship and agile system development to be prepared to now in the second semester after the break, develop their business modeling and to further develop their prototype in a showcase, which they can present to you today in the final pitch. Yeah, and all of that is only possible thanks to our partners. They are all here today and will present their companies. So I think we will just start with Vector in this case.
Okay, so
you didn't have a timer.
I have a timer. I'm not sure if I can do it, but I try my best. Okay, but I need a presentation. So I'm from Vector, one of the sponsors, and I'm happy to introduce you the company presentation. So we are doing our work in the automotive industry. So this is our main goal here. So we support suppliers and OEMs. OEMs is something like BMW, Mercedes, etc. And the suppliers are like Bosch, Continental, and so on. So we are in this great embedded systems area. We're providing tools, software, and expertise to this market. So Vector is proud to give services from engineers to engineers. So that means you are the right people working in Vector, right? You are engineers, more or less, and that's good. So, okay, entrepreneurs, and of course we need a lot of good new ideas, and that's important. So, and the good news of Vector is we are a foundation. So all the stuff we are earning, we give for the back to the community. So we do our in research, education, social commitments. So it's not a stakeholder value of any great business people, but if you work in Vector, we give back to the community the earned money, right? First, of course, for the employees, but then to the community, of course. So we are 4,000 employees worldwide. We have a turnover of 1 billion in the meantime. We we do support over 9,000 companies in 76 countries. And if you think about any vendor of cars, of parts of a cars, these are all our customers. So we are very yeah. And we have a lot of subsidiaries worldwide, and doing our job with our partners over 35 years. So all over the world, the development stuff is done in Germany, Sweden, and in US. And the others are supporting companies or subsidiaries for our business. So the applications we are working in is the development of distributed systems. There are tools like Prevision here, and Prevision is one of the innovations the KIT brings to the market. So we are very proud here doing that in Karlsruhe, where Prevision is founded 20 years ago. Another part is the embedded software and systems. Software and systems here, and here Vector provides, let's say, a framework or the operation system of the control units in the car. So if you drive in any car, Vector is on board with the operation system, like you know from PCs or so, like Microsoft. So Vector doing those stuff for embedded systems. And Vector started this business with testing. That's a tool like Canoe. You probably do some labs there. And this is good for simulation of the system part, where one is you can be a part of the distributed stuff. And so it's very easy for a developer to do their job according to the job. So, and there's diagnostics, ECU calibration, and so on. Okay, 1 minute left. So let's do some advertisements about what's good if you start in Vector. So we have the canteen, right? Who was in the canteen of Vector? Nobody? You should, yeah. So you should do that because it's catered by Traubetonbach, which is a star hotel, you know. So it's really cool. And if you're a student, like student worker or so, you can eat every day in our canteen, which is not very far from the KIT. So great thing. But of course, there are other good things like parties and so on. Okay, but I think the most important social stuff is also our canteen. Yeah, we still have open positions. It's 74 in the moment. We also provide trainee programs and also, well, this is not for here, but trainee programs. So you can also do your degree, your master or bachelor. We support this. So yeah, if you like, you can join Vector. That's it. Thank you. So 4 seconds left. I'm in time. Thank you very much.
Hello, also warm welcome from my side. My name is Gilbert Erdler and I'm working as an innovation manager here at Siemens Karlsruhe. Here in Karlsruhe we have the headquarters for the process automation and I'm working in the field of measurement intelligence, but I will explain this later. Here on this slide you can see an overall picture of Siemens company. It's a huge company, as everybody knows. We have over 300,000 employees worldwide. And Siemens consists out of 4 main pillars. We have the digital industries. There we are producing everything around automation for the industries. Factory automation, process automation are the main parts. Then we have smart infrastructure. Everything about the automation of huge buildings like airports or skyscrapers, something like this. Then we have the pillar of mobility. Siemens is also producing trains. Everybody knows the ICE train from the Deutsche Bundesbahn, but also subways and so on. And then the last pillar is the Siemens health care sector. Yeah, everything about picture-giving systems for the health applications and so on. So all in all, huge trust and mainly dedicated in a lot of different industries. Here you can see our CEO, Dr. Roland Busch. And the main task of Siemens is we want to enable our customers to give them the right tools for digital applications and to face their requirements in future, that they are very efficient and competitive in the future. And one key aspect of doing this is readdressing also the sustainability issues. Yeah, as you can see here, by 2030, Siemens will reduce its own CO2 footprint by 90%. And today, our portfolio enables our customers really to save 190 million tons CO2 emissions. This is a figure from last year. On the right side, also impressive picture. Customers using our portfolio will save 16 times more CO2 than we need for producing our systems. Yeah? This means we are a great enabler for also sustainability topics. And one driver for us is digitalization, yeah, and the main focus is here. We want to connect the real world with the digital world for all the industries. As you can see here with the small pictures, is from pharmaceutical industry, semiconductor industry, life science, chemical industry, aerospace industry, food and beverage industry. So we are really in touch with all these industries, and there we are producing digital solutions for all these fields. And how we're doing this, you can see this here. We have the Siemens Accelerator, and this is a holistic marketplace where we have the focus really to have all of our portfolio interoperable. This means you can use each system between the different industries. Each component should be flexible, open. This means we will also share our knowledge and our approach with different smaller companies, for example. Everything you can use as a service, and a very important aspect, the cybersecurity. Each item you use for infrastructure, for example, must be also secure, yeah, in the future. And what does digitalization mean here? We have here some amazing figures for this industry sector. Using our digital solutions, manufacturers in the industrial sector can use up to 50% of the materials they are using by using digital twins or 3D printing technologies. Also in the building sector, you can save up to 30% of energy by really using up-to-date digital solutions for the energy management of buildings. Then, yeah, also for the mobility sector, you can increase the capacity of the infrastructure up to 30%. And in the healthcare sector, there are studies that the time people have to spend in a hospital can be reduced by more than 40% with these digital solutions we are offering. Yeah? This was the overview of Siemens in general and what are we doing here in Karlsruhe. Also in Karlsruhe, we have more than 4,000 employees here, and here we have the headquarters of the process automation. Process automation, maybe you know it, it's about the chemical industry, hydrogen industry, pharmaceutical industry, glass industry, water cleaning, water desalination facilities, oil and gas industry. And here we have a broad portfolio. This means you can buy everything you need to run a chemical plant, for example. And me personally, I'm working in the middle area, measurement intelligence, and we are producing sensors, all kinds of sensors, which you need to operate such a chemical industry. So here I have a picture of our location here in Karlsruhe. If you're interested to do your internship at Siemens, or to master thesis, bachelor thesis, please contact us. We have a lot of very interesting topics here, and we are located in Knielingen, not so far away from here. Yeah? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now it's my time to go on stage. Warm welcome also from my side. My name is Christine Eckerle, and today with my colleague Ann-Sophie Finner and for the first part, Sarah Mantai, we supported the students in their entrepreneurial journey. This has been kind of energy demanding, as Orestes already said, but as I know from experience for the students, the past couple of weeks were very nerve-wracking and a lot of work, and even more so, it's amazing to finally see the results of your work today. SIL is growing continuously in the background with the companies you have seen today and will see today, but also with more and more students coming on board. And because this is a big part also of this journey, I just wanted to ask Orestes again to give us a bit of context of the cooperation between the bachelor students and the master students this year.
Yeah, and the first thing I want to say is a big thank you to the SIG Stiftung, the SIG Foundation. And Mr. Bay is here today. Maybe you can also shortly stand up so we know who you are. So give him a hand. Because they were so generous to support us in this exercise.
No,
you want to say
that's
something?
no,
Good. And I mean, it was mentioned there will be these posters. And now, what is the story behind these posters? Now, we thought, how can we create a format, a teaching format, related to SIL for bachelor students? How can we create such a format? And obviously, it should not cannibalize, so it shouldn't be a small version of SIL. It should not be over-demanding, so it's really at the measure of bachelor students. But it should somehow evolve around the main format of SIL, of the Student Innovation Lab. And the main idea was to say, well, let us create the following constellation. The SIL teams think about an interesting challenge for some process, artifact, piece of knowledge that they need around their project, and then position this challenge with bachelor students. And these bachelor students, in a way, act like consultants, like a team of consultants that will help the SIL team to solve that challenge. So that was the main idea. And what came out was presented to us internally last week. It was, from my point of view, very impressive, and maybe the SIL teams can also share their experiences. And their input now has, or was the basis for the posters that you see here. So they try to communicate what they did. The bachelor students, the bachelor teams communicate their contribution to the bigger picture of the SIL project on these posters.
Yeah, I think the most important part that innovation starts very early, even at school. University can't start at school directly, but we can start in the bachelor. And this was the basic idea. And well, I got the impression that you was fascinated by the results and also inspired students work there. So perhaps at the very end, if we circle around and we see everything, would be very, very nice if you can give us an insight of your work, of the expectations and the results, and this new format builds to us. So thank you very much again, in particular to the SIG Foundation.
And obviously to the bachelor students, which will not be on stage, but we want to give you all a warm hand now.
Yeah, let's have a pause. And with that, obviously, pressure is even higher because now the results have to be even better than last year's. So, yeah, we will now look at the pitches of our teams. As you can see, the teams have 5 minutes each. As you know from last couple of years, I will be strict about that. And then we have a Q&A with the jury in particular. So the jury, please ask very good questions to the pitches. For that, we have roughly 7 minutes per team. Yeah, we have the following, as Manuel already said, the following order: carbon shape, underrings, moles, and concussion. And for the audience, please also be very careful and look at which team is the most impressive in your point of view, because you can vote for them also later for the Darling of the Day. So remember for that. And I think without further ado, Carbon Shape, please come on stage. You can see the timer here, So just that you have an idea. Do you need a second microphone? All right, there's a second microphone. I will not give mine away. Okay, so I ask you, are you ready?
Yeah.
Then the time starts now.
Welcome, everybody. We are Carbon Shape, and we are the future of sustainable efficiency. We aim to revolutionize the industry of activated charcoal pellets for air filtration. These pellets are used in the chemical and pharmaceutical industry for keeping the highly regulated exhaust standards. Let's look at the pains of these manufacturers. Every year, these manufacturers have to submit a sustainability report. This report is poor for two main reasons. Firstly, one necessary compound in the production is toxic tar, which is banned in the EU. Secondly, the production needs very high temperatures. Additionally, we have less material abrasion. We as Carbon Shape don't have these problems. We solve them by creating a new production line. In this production line, we are using a KIT patented technology. This enables us to make the production line completely water-based. Also, we don't need high temperatures in our process. Additionally, we have less material abrasion because we have a more steady product. This leads to avoid inefficiency during use. So we brought a short video. This shows the benefit of our Carbon Shape pellets. As you can see on the right, our pellets have much more variable surface for binding particles. To summarize that, our pellets are much more efficient than the normal industry pellets. So because of this higher efficiency, our customer can use our pellets 22% longer. This saves logistical costs and valuable resources. Also, because of our production line, we have higher mechanical stability. This is why we can reduce the material abrasion by 30%. To demonstrate this fact, we brought a short video. You can see the difference in handling both pellets. As you can see on the left, the industry pellets have much more material abrasion and leave much more dust on the white cloth. Also, our production line, we can save 55% energy in the production.
Okay, so as Sören mentioned, it's very important that we need to challenge an old status quo, and this is what we want to do. We want to get rid of the need of this toxic tar, and this is, together with the reduction in the energy costs, is the first important step that we need to take to create a more sustainable industry and bring the production back to the EU. So looking at the market, our product will be used in the gas and in the filter and gas treatment sector, which makes up 36% of the whole use cases of activated carbon. It is a continuously growing industry with a compound annual growth rate of 6%. And worldwide, the pelletized activated carbon market is a $1.2 billion industry. All of this provides us with a great potential for future growth. Upon market entry, we plan to occupy 1% of the filter and gas treatment sector. Here you can see a 3-year projection of our costs and revenues. The first 6 quarters will be dedicated to optimizing our pace and producing pellets on a pilot scale. Then, in the 7th quarter, we plan to invest in bigger machinery so we can scale up our production, and we plan to break even during the 10th quarter. Looking ahead into the future, right now we are coming out of our prototyping phase. Right now, our first pellet prototypes are being tested by our interested industry partners, Jacobi. Getting these results will help us in our further multiple rounds of optimization before we will be ready to enter the market in the 6th quarter. After securing our first customers and selling our product B2B via direct sales, we will be on our way to become an established name in the industry. So let's take a look at the competitors. This is a big industry with a lot of companies in it, but while a lot of these companies have made great efforts in innovating and elevating their products, to this day, none of them have managed to combine both efficiency and sustainability into one product, just as we have done. But these are not only competitors, because we are certain that we have created a product that every one of these companies will want to have in their product portfolios, making them also potential partners in the future. We are a young, motivated team with a vision. We see our ideas in various applications, solving complex problems with smart ideas to clean more than just toxic air. We are CarbonShape, the future of sustainable efficiency. And we've also brought some prototypes for you to look at.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you. That was tremendous. Now, while the jury is looking at the prototype, please also make sure to ask questions. I will look also at the timer on my phone, so please don't think that I'm impolite. Yes, we have the first question.
So that looks very impressive to a layman like me. What have you done to validate your market need basically with this? I mean, it looks great, but is there actually really a need, and have you proof for that, so to say?
Yeah, so as you know, at the SIL we had to have a lot of interviews with industry people. Yeah, and there we found out that there are problems that need to be solved, and there is a market for this product. And also we want to mention that this product is just a market entry product for a bigger market, and we still see our paste to be 3D printed and also have other product features, so that's just the first step for us.
Okay, two questions. The first one is, you mentioned it's patented, no? Is a KIT patent or?
Yes.
So did you make use of that, or did you patent it during the SIL?
So the patent stands from the KIT, who then is the entity who gives exclusive rights for the usage to use it commercially.
Okay, and what about the production costs in comparison? No?
In comparison, the production cost is mainly reduced by the energy. So normally you would have to heat this tar under high temperature and mix it with the activated charcoal. You have to heat it just so you can mix it in general. And we undergo that completely. So the production cost is basically just the reduction of the high temperature that would normally be needed. And yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question with regard to scaling of the technology. Suppose you are super successful in the next 5 years or during your plan. What do you think, is it scalable if everybody wants to buy this technology in terms of machinery and everything which is needed?
Yeah, I think it's easy scalable because we only need an extrusion machine, very big, that can take 1 tons per hour. And then we only need often to take away the water that are in our paste.
I've got a question related to the business model. So you said you may sell it directly to the people that are already in this market, which I guess is a commodity market these days. So are you selling this to the customers, or are you selling this to the current producers? And I mean, you could also just sell them a license instead of selling material, couldn't you? So what is your plans about that?
So right now, the intricacies of the business model in this industry, how a lot of the time how it works is that you have contracting companies that know a lot about how you have to design certain processes and what products are needed, because there's a wide variety of products that maybe are optimized for certain applications. So we have these contractors, which helps the end users to design their process and choose the right tools for filtration. So going up the chains, they in turn get their products from a retailer, and these are the people that we are planning to sell our products to.
Any further questions? We have time for 1 or 2 more.
Well, can you say something about the price tag of your product compared to the existing technology? I think you mentioned that. Yeah, thank you.
At the moment, we have a material cost of €2.62. We can also reduce this in the future, and the costs that come next are variable, maybe 20% or something of this. Let's take how much we sell of the pellets. And then we have 27% that as I don't know.
Like so far as the price reduction goes, we're planning to sell the product at around $4.50, and from all of the interviews that we have conducted, we have managed to get kind of the idea that for a similar product that has the similar use cases with this similar kind of activation, that the price goes around between 4 to 5 and even sometimes 6 or 7 euros, depending on how specialized the application is. So we are definitely in a price range that will be attractive to new customers.
All right. Oh, one more? Yeah. All right.
So do you only have this one product, or do you plan to differentiate in the future? You just mentioned there are possibly multiple applications. So how easy it is to differentiate your product to different applications?
So this is a very, very beautiful thing for us, because we have optimized this paste for extrusion. And this paste has also very great potential to be 3D printed. And now 3D printing a paste is basically nothing else but an extrusion. So by optimizing our paste for extruding pellets, we have also kind of optimized them to be 3D printed. And this has various other use cases in the industry, which we also got from our interviews, where right now you, for instance, need some support structure that, for instance, out of some very expensive metals. And there are some cases where we would save a lot of money by just eliminating the need for this expensive support structures. Or there are also cases where we can make certain filters that would normally come in a certain size smaller. So then we would give the designer more freedom to kind of design around this more compact filter. And this is kind of all the directions we can also go with the 3D printing. And right now we're planning to basically get our foot in the door with this easily scalable product. And then when we have some financial foundation, then we can look into going into the 3D printing and going into more collaborations with other companies.
Can I add something? Also with the KIT patented technology we mentioned before, we have the flexibility to build in new product features with changing some components we are using to filter different gas or vapors also.
I'm wondering whether why you've based your business concept on production and let's say actively production and maybe a hybrid concept instead of purely based on licensing, inventing and licensing.
We, as you know, the sustainability is a really big issue nowadays, and we want to solve this actively. And with our product, we think that we can shift the industry in a more sustainable position than it's right now. And also the KIT patented technology is, sorry, I forgot my words.
I think that's also fair. Thank you so much for the questions and for the great answers. Well done. And I asked the second team to go on stage under rings and don't break things.
Could we have our prototypes back?
I think they're somewhere in the, over there on the table.
Yeah, thank you.
Those two work? You can take those. Ist das grün?
I don't know.
Yeah, and this one works also. Do you need that?
Yeah. Not really.
Second microphone?
And it is connected right now. Are you sure?
All right. I ask you if you're ready. No?
Just 2 minutes.
Okay. 1 second longer, maybe? One or two? All right. Sometimes hardware and software make our lives easier. Sometimes they don't. But I'm sure they will manage. I think at a sports event we would now have a nice advertisement break. Let's all think about something. Yes. Oh yeah, you can use the time to log into the Wi-Fi if you have not done so yet, so that you can vote later on. Okay, I think the team has come to a conclusion on how to improvise. We all know that's also as important as as being prepared.
Who will use
All right. I think we can say that you are ready.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, then the timer starts now.
Hey everyone, and very warm welcome to the final pitch of Team ISL. And today we are presenting our exciting product in front of you. So let's begin. It's not working. Maybe it's a kind of a Bluetooth issue. Yeah, it's not working from here as well. Kantesh, maybe can you help me out with it?
Are you having problems with the clicker?
Yeah.
Well, I have the perfect solution for you. Surprised? Don't be. This is Andering, empowering presenters through hands-free control of your presentation for complete control. As we all currently saw, the presenter experienced 3 main issues: limited mobility, lack of intuitive control options, and finally, setup connectivity and power issues. The solution? Andering. Gesture recognition allows seamless control and transition through your slides. Wireless Bluetooth connectivity allows you an unbothered connection throughout your presentation experience. A virtual laser pointer highlights key points on your slide. And finally, a charging case that keeps your device protected and powered on the go. Here you can see a 3D rendering of our charging case and our ring inside it. Let's talk about the market overview. The global presentation clicker market is around $200 million, which sees an annual hardware growth of around 2.4% and a software market growth of 5.2%. Not bad, right? After around 20 interviews conducted by our lovely Launch Lab team, we found out 2 main target groups. That would be speakers and educators who showed a high interest rate in this product. Our competition are big banner brands like Logitech, Kensington, and Targus, who are very well reputed and very well based in the industry. But why, you would ask, choose Andering? Well, for starters, it's wearable, it looks cool, intuitive gestures, and the charging case completely rounds up the product so that you have one complete product which is safe. Here you can see where we stand beside our competitors. Now, my teammate Amir will take it from here.
Thank you, Kantosh. So the ring is an intuitive device that revolutionized the way of presenting, and it offers a vibration sense that helps you to deliver your points on time. It also has a virtual pointer that will help you to emphasize the main points in your presentation. It's perfect for people, for savvy techs who are seeking the latest of technology, and for people who want to present an innovative and modern way. But most importantly, it's incredibly easy to use. It's offer accessibility for everyone without the agony of spending hours on learning new gestures. The ring uses an advanced detection algorithm where the gestures are segmented on a semantic level instead of trajectory level, and then it sends the command to the laptop via Bluetooth. We are focusing on the growing demand for new management tools regarding the presenting and helping students, professors, and presenters to improve the way you're presenting. As a startup, we are focusing on the direct sales as our main revenue stream, and we are utilizing for that the online platforms. And we are expecting to reach the break-even point by the end of the second year. For our future steps, we are working on expanding compatibility with more applications and enhancing the personalized user experience through customized gestures and interchangeable ring designs. We are under Ring. Join us in transforming the way you present. Thank you very much.
Very well on time. Great.
Yeah, very.
All right. After some technical difficulties in the beginning, I think we got a really nice presentation. Thank you so much. And we are looking forward to questions. I would need one of the microphones for that. Thank you. Oh, so many. We start over there.
Now, okay. Why do we need another hardware? Why we don't use existing hardware like smartwatch, for example? And how is this accepted from the customer?
Well, the smartwatches that are available in the market now, they are not, and they don't give you the chance to interact. So they only collect informations. You cannot use them to control applications. And the reason why we chose Ring to control presentations is just the first step of creating a device that you can control multiple applications with. But we thought control a presentation first is a great way to enter the market or to have an audience for that.
I would like to add something on that. Thank you for the question. So basically, all the smartwatches or health watches we see are very sophisticated pieces of technology that constantly track biometric data, and thus they come with very expensive sensors and a very expensive price tag. Ring is designed specifically for the use of a presenter from the niche point of view of what the problems presenter feels, and thus it is not comparable to a smartwatch or a smart ring.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell a little bit about your USP from a technical point of view, that nobody steals your idea?
So the main point here was to create a way that the Ring will recognize the gestures in a way that no one did it before. And we had a talk with the founder of a small company called Kinemic, and they worked on something similar, but then they stopped because they didn't know how to continue in the market or how to improve their design. And after that, we had like a discussion for 4 hours about that, and we agreed that we agreed to disagree, but he wanted to keep continuing on the trajectory level of segmenting the movement. And since I'm studying robotics, I prefer the semantic level. So I worked on that. It was difficult, actually. I didn't expect it to succeed, but it succeeded in the end. And I mean, for controlling the presentation, that doesn't make a big of a difference. But if you think about having more applications to control and having your own gestures, then that will be a huge difference in gesture recognition, because it's completely different way of working on that, and how you can, for example, you can make this as a circle to control something, but you can also do it like this and it will work. So it has nothing to do with the trajectory you're working. It's just of how you define the movement that you wanted to use it as a control.
Thanks a lot for the presentation. I was wondering about the price point. So you said it's a special purpose device. I think Samsung Ring is 400 euros or whatever. So what's your price point?
Okay, so from the interviews we've conducted, we came to the conclusion of two prices. One is optimal price, and another one would be indifferent price. So the optimal price is something, it's the intersection between too cheap and too expensive. And on the other hand, indifferent price is the intersection between acceptably expensive and acceptably cheap. So we tried to visualize the Van Westerdorp method in a graph through data we got through different interviews and feedbacks. So in the beginning, we don't want it to be too cheap that it looks low quality or untrustworthy, and also too expensive that the early adopters do not wish to adopt it at all. So we have the optimal price of around 55 euros. That is our initial conclusion. I think as we move further and have various more expenses and come across more situations of real entrepreneurial path, then we can realize a better and more exact optimal price.
Any further? Yes.
For the stream. Another technical question. Have you made any investigations regarding the battery lifetime? Because you need a continuously connection, a Bluetooth connection.
Yeah, we are using a low power battery, a low power controller, which consumes nearly less power when it is operating in a Bluetooth connection. It's approximately 8 to 9 milliamps continuously. And we have a battery, presently we have in a prototype, we have 250 milliamp battery. So it can, it can work more than 6 to 7 hours continuously. And if you reduce the size of the battery, I think we can reduce the size of the ring also, and it can be fit into the ring. Yeah.
Okay, I think maybe two more questions.
I've seen your sample on your hand, and it looks a little bit bigger as the one going around here. So what are the steps planned to miniaturize it?
Actually, we have already made a plan for that. The main design challenges we have is the size constraint. So we already developed a PCB, which is a flex PCB, which can be fit into the ring, and it's having a very thin layers. And we have a customized battery that is also have a curved shape, which fits into the ring. So once this integration is done, then a ring will definitely look like a smart ring. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, regarding the size, as my teammate said, it's because of the hardware basically, but it's also because of time constraints, because we didn't have enough time to order some stuff, and some of the battery, we needed to order it from China, and that would take forever to come. So we had to go with something else. So yeah.
Yeah, I want to add one more thing. Actually, the prototype which is running by the hands of everyone, it is the actual prototype will be because we, like Amir said, the size of the controller for now is not that very accurate, but this will be the current one is the going on will be the final prototype.
All right, with that, I have to cut off here. Thank you so much. Thank you to the questions. Now I have too many microphones here. And I asked the third team on stage, Smoles. And the presenter, you also have to leave here. Yes, thank you. I'm a presenter. Oh, Entschuldigung. Sorry, das geht. Braucht ihr ein zweites Mikrofon? Second microphone?
Yes.
Okay. Don't be shy. Maybe you go a bit in front of me because I have to stand here, sorry. Okay. All right, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Audience ready? Then you can start now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you know someone who has diabetes? Then I'm sure you must know about diabetic foot syndrome, in short, DFS. In Germany, 9 million people have diabetes. From them, 8% have wounds in their feet due to DFS. Typically, DFS causes reduction in blood circulation in your feet. This leads them to lose the pain in their feet and causes ulcers. And if these ulcers are not treated at the right time, they may lead to amputations. So now how do we solve this?
Introducing Smalls. Stepping ahead in diabetic care. Insert your Smalls in your shoes and set them up using the given instructions. Connect your smartphone with your Smalls. Now you can step ahead with your day-to-day life. Smalls help you in identifying diabetic foot ulcers. Please contact the doctor. The analysis tool ensures your best treatment. Stepping ahead in diabetic care.
So, as you have seen in the video, we provide simple-to-use insoles. The insoles monitor the plantar foot pressure data of the patients during the dynamic activities in their all-day life. So, the insoles identify early symptoms of foot ulcers even before the patient would detect them by himself. Furthermore, we have our analysis platform. It presents insights in the ulcer development over time. So we help doctors to select the best suited therapy for their patients. So well, that's really nice, but how do we earn money? On the one side, we have our users, which are the patients and the doctors. On the other side, the health insurance company steps in as buyers of our product. Once we have the medical product certification, we aim for a price of 400 euros for the insoles and 30 euros per quarter for the software. Having a look at our costs, we account for about 200 euros for total production costs and 25 euros for marketing costs, all costs excluding R&D expenses.
Thank you very much, Max. Max. Coming to the market analysis, the situation looks quite serious. In the whole world, there are 570 million people suffering of diabetes. Of that, 19 to 34% have the risk of the diabetic foot syndrome. This leads to an estimated market size of 26.8 billion euros in the world. And these numbers only seem to increase in the upcoming years. With such a big market, we have quite a fierce competition. Especially Ozempic and Orpix are our fiercest competitors. Both startups provide insoles for diabetic patients, but with a different data focus than our plantar foot pressure. We as Team Smalls want to revolutionize the everyday life of diabetic patients. With our different engineering backgrounds, we find the perfect solution for our patients. Now, looking into the future of Smalls, in the first 2 years, we want to focus solely on development and certification. For that, we estimated a startup investment of 2 million euros in this time. After that, we want to enter the German market in the 3rd year, so we reach the break-even point in the 4th year, and then exploring new markets in the 5th year and onwards. We are Team Smoles, and if you want to join us on our journey, we are looking for medical advisors and also for for pre-seed financing. Thank you very much, and feel free to check our website.
Well done. Even time left. All right. Yeah. We have the first question.
I have not really understood what is the doctor doing, seeing your measurement results. No?
Yeah, I mean, the current issue they have is they lack the continuous data from their patients, and we help them gather these data to track it more continuously and see the overtime development.
So to add on to it, generally there's two parts. One which detects if there's an ulcer risk, which is for the patients, right? If they walk somewhere and they couldn't feel the pain, but there is a pressure in their feet. So that leads to ulcer. The app detects if there's an ulcer and it notifies it. But then they don't know what may have caused it, right? Or if it's a gait, or if they are if their daily pattern, for example, or something. So these analysis requires a time series data through which they can know about the patterns that they do in their day-to-day life. So this is done in the analysis tool that we have showed, and helps them to identify what is going on exactly, how it is happening, what you should not do, or what you should do. So this is just an initial analysis part, but our plan is to make it more robust, more informative, so that they could get the best therapy for them.
Yeah. Okay. Second, a question with regard to getting paid by the health insurance, because it's, from my perspective, the most critical part. Why should they pay?
Well, the idea is that in the first 2 years we get the medical certification, and once we have the medical certification, our goal is to get into this catalog of the health insurances, and once we are in there, that's like the doctors know us, and yeah, I think once we get, please.
Yeah, this is why we are currently already in contact with a doctor for doing a first study, a first trial with patients, like collecting data and also like verifying the viability of our product. And with this trial study, we will be able to conduct further studies, so to validate our product to be helpful in the patient's care.
Yeah, maybe to add on, they just save money because the people don't have, for example, to amputate their legs. They still can use them and so on. Yeah, that's the goal.
The health insurance is very interested in this.
I have experienced this. I'm sure my parents are seeing this. They have this. They are both diabetic patients. And these cases, my dad, sometimes he does something, he doesn't know what he has done. For example, what he walked or something, or staircase, or whatever he did. But the next day, when he wakes up, he has a swollen foot, right, with an ulcer. And he nags my mom like, this and that. So what if we get a better way to understand what? So he could be able to avoid it, right? This can be, just a better way, stepping ahead in diabetic care. Yeah.
Did you check for patients' acceptance? So when I see your prototype, it looks like one of these things that criminals get when they're out of prison. And so I guess you definitely need to miniaturize this quite a lot. And you probably also want to provide multiple soles, because people usually have multiple pairs of shoes. And in the morning, you want to just slip into a pair of shoes. You don't want to change the sole first. So how do you address these issues?
So yes, we are also looking forward for our future design. So we are focusing like this already looks like a criminal anklet. Yes. So we are focusing on our sensor design. We are going to make, right now we are using resistive sensors. In future, we are looking forward to use capacitive sensors and to cover more area in our, as you can see in the insoles with the sensors, and to get better accuracy also. And also we are going forward towards the downsizing of the PCB while using the SMD parts, which would reduce it to half of the current area. And also we are going towards the smaller housing. That's your question. So to 1/4 of the current size, and it would be attachable with a clip to the shoe, and it would be integrated into the insole. Yeah.
Yeah. We're like, this was for just the first iteration of the prototype, and we are already working on like the next one in the downsizing. The question is probably, why is it looking like that? And this is like, I can show you here. No, wait. No. And it is because the design is, like in this first iteration, is very modular. We designed it like with a very large battery pack of 1,200 milliamperes, lasting for like almost a month in a smart recording mode. And like also the module we are recording is the ESP, connected via Bluetooth, as mentioned earlier. And like additionally, there's another sensor, like this inertial measurement unit on it, so to track gate pattern, and a real-time clock to do this low power mode. We can charge it via USB, and yeah, also notify the user with the buzzer in a haptic or acoustic way. And yeah, as you can see, it's very modular. It's all modules on this board, and that's why it's so thick at the moment. But we're working on it already.
Okay, I'm wondering how a clinical study would look like in order to prove evidence of a system like that. How large would that study be, or should it be, and who would pay for that study? So, and where do you get the money for doing that?
These are two good questions. That's why we are here. Once for getting the money. No, one thing I think for us is most interesting would be that we have continuous studies. So we would start probably like with 50 people in the first case, but then it also depends on the amount of regions we want to go in. So if it's just Germany or whole Europe and so on. But yeah, in our current status, we are not completely sure on how many people we would need. So that's something we need to figure out in the upcoming year, because we want to focus there on certification and also on the studies.
To add on that,
please keep it short because we have to.
To add on that, this is a study by the government that plantar feet affects it, and there are many other clinical studies being done simultaneously. This would also help us to develop a better product, as we have, as my colleague Sarim had explained. So yeah, there is a lot of research going on in it, and pretty big market, and we would like to tap in it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Well done, and great animation, I have to say. Okay. Last but not least, I welcome Cam Cushion on stage.
Check. Okay.
All right. I also ask you if you're ready.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah? Okay. Then you can start now.
Okay. So about 2 months ago, I broke my elbow while I was playing soccer with a few of my friends. I fell on my arm and immediately knew that something was wrong. But why am I telling you this? If I had hit my head while playing soccer, I would have likely continued to play unaware of any potential injury. And this, although a potential concussion might have far more severe consequences than a broken arm. Yet there is a lack of awareness and just no quick way to check for a potential concussion. As a result, only a fraction of all concussion cases in Germany are actually diagnosed. And this is where we aim to make a difference, by raising awareness and developing a tool for quick and reliable concussion detection. We are Camcussion, presenting you a cutting-edge technology developed to make concussion detection smarter, more efficient, and most importantly, more accurately. And now let's have a look at how it works. We are using state-of-the-art computer vision technology to objectively detect concussions. If a person suffers a head injury and might have a concussion, they are asked to follow a red dot moving around the screen. While the person is following the red dot that is moving around the screen, our software analyzes their eye movement and their pupil dilation. This eye tracking data is then further processed to evaluate how well a person is following this red dot and to detect any irregular eye movements. With this information, we will then be able to determine if a concussion is present or not. With our technology, we will be able to detect concussions with the utmost accuracy by completely eliminating human error from the diagnosis process. And we want to benefit as many people as possible with this. Therefore, we are aiming at two distinct customer segments. The first customer segment includes educational institutions, individuals, and amateur sport clubs, while the second includes doctors, paramedics, and professional sport clubs. We offer two versions of our product where each meets the needs of one of the two customer segments. For the amateurs, we want to keep costs low and accessibility high. Therefore, we offer a software application that can run on a tablet for a price of around 10 euros per software application. For the professional customers, we offer a standalone device with a dedicated hardware that offers the highest possible accuracy for a price of around 2,000 euros. And with that, I'll hand over to Rishi to give you insights on our market size.
Thank you, Johannes. Now let's explore the market size. In Germany alone, 40,000 cases of concussion are reported annually, and I fear that the cases that go unnoticed would be much higher. For the software application, our market is the 10 million individuals with tablets, amateur sports club with around 90,000, and educational institute with 32,500 all across Germany. For the standalone device, the markets are the doctors and hospitals, 23,000 paramedics, and about professional sports clubs in Germany. And later on, we would also like to target the international market in Europe, Asia, Australia, and other countries so that we have upper hand over the competitors. Talking about the competition, currently only 2 companies exist out there which closely resembles to the idea of a product. In comparison to them, we aim to make a product highly accessible, time efficient, and most importantly, user-friendly so that not only doctors but also common people can utilize the software. And later on, we would like to roll out a software in the European market since both the companies are based in US. Our next step is to improvise the software by adding algorithm for pupil dilation. We would get in touch with medical experts and also with the technical experts. We would need to acquire data sets so that we could improve the accuracy of a device, and simultaneously we would start building a standalone device. But it does not stop here. As soon as we have the standalone device, we need to get it licensed and certified by the health authorities so that we can have a product rolling out in the market. We are Camcussion and meet our team devoted in changing the game in detecting concussions. We are on a mission to bridge the gap between head injury awareness, making sure that no concussion is overlooked. Our vision is vital, especially in resource-limited settings. Join us in safeguarding the future with Assess, Detect, and React, and transforming the future of concussion care. If you have further interest in our product, please feel to reach out to us, and let's collaborate and make a difference together in the society. Thank you so much.
Well done, and also well on time. Good job. Okay, for the last team, I expect great questions.
Thank you. So I suspect that you have the kind of the algorithm how to detect a concussion from eye movement from some research paper, and I guess you also from that know the specifications you have to meet with your solution. And can you? And I also guess you haven't tried your solution on real concussions. I hope you haven't, at least not deliberately. So how well is your solution, both the tablet as well as the dedicated device, fitting those requirements, the technical requirements? Can you basically, how far are you with the development? How big is the gap?
So first, we didn't hit people with baseball bats intentionally. We maybe need to lower the expectations a bit. So we are working towards reaching that goal at some point, but we focused on the steps to get there first. So our first focus that we set is the eye tracking algorithm that we see here a bit. So what we are currently able to do is track the exact position of the pupil at any point in time, and then calculate some metrics that help us to understand how well the eye is actually following this red dot. But we didn't take it any further yet. There are research papers that show that there is a correlation or connection or causation between the eye movement and the concussions, but we don't have the algorithm to calculate that yet. We are working towards that.
You see some noise here, I guess, or is it actually the saccades? So is it noise or is it real eye movement? And do you know if that noise would actually, or would it be sufficient with this kind of accuracy to detect this?
We don't think so. This is the first prototype. This is the first algorithm that we implemented. And we think it clearly shows that we are able to track the eye. But as you mentioned correctly, there is still noise on that. And we can have a look at that later. You clearly see that the marker is jumping a bit from time to time. So there is improvement necessary, in our opinion, to really reach the goal of accurately detecting concussions. So we don't think we reached the accuracy yet that we would need to really bring that thing into market.
Just adding on to what Johanna said, you were right. In the middle, it's like the saccadic eye movements, which is one of the factors to detect concussions.
Any further questions? Yeah.
I'm still a bit unsure about your aim, your goal. You said the USP would be no concussion overlooked. That would mean you aim for 100% sensitivity of your system. So how can you be sure at the end that you don't create false negative results? And that would be the worst case, I would say.
I mean, the goal obviously is to be 100% right all the time. So what we would plan on doing is doing a study. We've seen that such a study has been conducted in the US before, where when people came into the hospital with a potential concussion, they would have different doctors check the patient and then generating their diagnosis, and do the same thing with the product, and then try to be better or as good as the doctors are. And obviously, as you said, it might make sense to aim for not having false positives rather than having no false positives, true negatives, false negatives, like this. Be maybe a bit too sensitive so that no concussion is overlooked, and maybe have here and there a diagnosis where people get told you might have a concussion, although they don't have one.
So a major market share would be let's say the use of usual people, private people, and you for one time using it's $10. I understood,
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think it's maybe who would buy that for $10? No.
So we had launch lab teams working on this challenge, and they conducted different interviews with people, and they also spoke to some mothers from kindergarten who brought their children, and they asked like how much would you pay to get this device, and also they got interview with with a trainer in the surfing camp, and he also highlighted that every day in the surfing camp at least 2 persons have concussion, but they wouldn't really pay a high amount. So I guess 10 euros for one-time payment, so it's fine for them, because it's concussion is not like an everyday thing, so it's gonna happen just once. So I guess 10 euros if you have to detect concussion where there are no hospitals nearby. So 10 euros shouldn't be a major challenge.
Okay. Maybe to clarify, the one-time payment would mean that you pay once to get access to the app to download it, and then the usage afterwards would be included in that price. So you don't have to pay 10 euros every time you might have hit your head and have a concussion, but just once to own the software, and then you can just use it.
Any further questions? You still have time.
I was probably showed it and I forgot it, but how big is the market for this really, in euros?
Okay, so our launch lab team again did a wonderful survey, and the market. So they spoke to teams like Hoffenheim, DFB, and ice hockey team who plays in 2nd division of Bundesliga. And when they spoke to them, they really they were really intrigued by this idea, and Hoffenheim said that they could pay like 8,000 euros for such a device, because concussion is really a serious injury. And so we plan the market that we have on the slide right now.
But like, to give a number, so we think that there is no real market right now, as there are no products out there. But if we just take the market size and multiply that with our costs, if I do that in my head, I would end up with a market size in Germany of around 300 million euros.
All right. Ooh, I get out of the... I thank you so much for the presentation and for the questions. These were the 4 teams of our SIL batch this year, or the last year ending this year. And I think we can be very proud, at least from the supervisor and teacher side, what they have achieved. Remarkable, as expected. All right, Manuel, the program continues with our experienced companies, I think.
Yeah, so next will be Hager, so thank you.
So, my name is Peter Langer. I'm from the company Hager here in Karlsruhe. We have the company Hager as a bigger company, and we have here in Karlsruhe office for developments. And it's a pleasure for me to sponsor the Student Innovation Lab, and also it was very interesting products and presentations before. So I do my best. So where's Hager? Perhaps you know the company Hager. Hager is a family-owned company, still absolutely in the family. There are, I think, 5 or 6 owners inside from the family, and we are shaping the electrical world of tomorrow. It's always a big question, who knows here the company Hager? Who have heard of it? Okay, that's quite good. Okay, where could you find it? In all types of buildings we are in, and if you look at your electrical cabinet with all the fuses on the distribution board, it will be, I think in Germany, always from Hager, because we have more or less 80% of market share for that, or even a little bit more. And we have also all products around electrical distribution and switches, sockets in the walls, all the products that are just working in your daily use without thinking about it, who makes it. So this is our board of directors, and until last year, Daniel Hager, one of the owners, was the CEO, and he handed over now to Sabine Busse, so we have a new CEO in the company. So yeah, the lady, I had the pleasure to show her the Karlsruhe site for, let's say, 2.5 hours, so was really a good experience also for me. So the company was founded in 1952, and we are still a fresh and young company. Yeah, here are some of the main figures here with the nationalities. 88 are here mentioned, and we have 22 production sites. That clearly give a picture. We have a lot of positions in the world you could find Hager. And we are basically in the area here in Baden-Württemberg and also in the Alsace. So a France-German company. So Hager is a company of a European company. So and we have also some production sites now in Poland on, and the main focus is the so-called DACH market. But we also look at the Latin market, that means France and also some South America. And in Karlsruhe, working round about 10 nationalities. So we are a team of 55 persons in Karlsruhe, and we have 10 nationalities. So it's really multicultural, and this is a very good work experience. Yeah, and we have 3.2 billion sales turnover per year. That's really great. Yeah. So if you look at our brands or markets, so we have a Hager Group. If you look who knows how to read all the business stuff, will see around about 70 companies behind it. That comes a lot of from the history. But at the end, we are one group. If you work at the Hager Group, you work for Hager, no longer for one of the small companies before. And here are the main brands. We have a brand of Hager. You may know from the distribution boards, from the fuses. We have a brand of Berker. Berker is well known for sockets and switches. And we have a brand of Elcom for door communication devices. This is more well known for architects and also who make construction renovation in building, because we offer a very customized adaptation of our systems you could not find at the other competitors. When we have E3DC, this is a company we put to the Hager Group, let's say 5 years ago. This was also a startup company who is managing energy storage in a very smart way. Yeah, when our last owned or new bought company is Efficia, this was just a startup in France. They developed an app helping people to save energy. And we are now integrating the software from Efficia in our systems. And the other, Bochotti and Iboco, are very specialized companies for cable management like PM Flex. Okay, where we have, let's say, we have a lot of products, but we can group it, let's say, to 3 main product groups. The first one is the e-mobility, so electrical charging of cars, mostly at home. When we have building automatization, mainly focus on KNX, and also in the future on the meta technology for radio frequency building automatization. And energy efficiency, that means you store your energy at home from your solar panels in some batteries or in your car, and you can use also the energy from your car in your home. This is a bidirectional charging. We have a connection with VW and with Audi. Yeah, and what nobody should forget today, if I was in my studies, I had only learned how to make a good product. After my studies, I learned, I have to approve it with a CE mark on it. Yeah, it's a little bit 20, 30 years ago. But now it's also important that you check your product for environmental passport or the environmental profile of your product. And this is the PEP. This is very, very important. And we are doing this for all our products. So PEP data are available. Will be legal in Germany, I think, in 2 or 3 years. In France, it's already necessary to sell a product. You need the PEP. The Hager Group is awarded from EcoVadis for environmental things, and also we have a yearly environmental report here. And we are also dedicated to the 1.5 degree target. So a lot of activities are done in a company to lower the CO2 footprint in production, and with the PEP, we really look at the products, not just say, okay, we make a cheap product, we buy it from China. Yes, it's cheap, but if you look at the environmental impact with all the transportation, it's no longer cheap. So this was a very short presentation, so I was not staying just in time, sorry for that. It's an overview from the company Hager. If you have any questions, I'm available here. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. So now we will vote for the darling of the public, and I think this is also when the professors and the sponsors, they will go to a separate room and discuss the other awards. So we will pick you up later. And for the others, yeah, I think, as I mentioned before, the mobile data is not, at least for my phone, it was not that good. In case it's not working, we have the Wi-Fi here. You can check it out. It's InnoHub guest, so it's written there, and you need to scroll down to find, what is it saying? Register for guest access, and yeah, log in there. We will do, yeah, 3-minute time for that, and then we'll continue with our 2 keynotes. Yeah, 1 second, I'll try to fix that. nice if you could sit down again. Sorry for the technical problem with the voting. So if you are in the Wi-Fi, we share the same IP address and they think we are the same person. And that's why, yeah, one of you had the chance to vote, the others not. So we will start now with the first keynote. And I'll try to fix that, to change it in the meantime. And yeah, then we will do another break between the two keynotes and yeah, have another 3 minutes for voting, hopefully. So then thank you for Liftwise being here, and the stage is yours.
Thank you. Let me get rid of my stuff first. I will. It's better to have lighter trousers for all the dancing I'm going to do. All right, let's see if it works. Yes. Okay, hello all together. My name is Titus and I'm the co-founder of Liftwise. And in the beginning, I have a question for you. Does anyone know this guy? No one? I think it's stuck right now. All right, let's go on. So, I guess no one knew the guy because this is Gunnar Peterson. And you see all the other people which you probably know. Those are 3 stars. And you know Hugh Jackman and Jennifer Aniston, of course. And all those 3 have something in common because all of them have been trained by Gunnar Peterson in a matter of 6 weeks to the dream bodies. Unfortunately, 10 million people in Germany do have not the luxury of a training experience like that. In contrast to Hugh Jackman, 73% of gym clients never reach their personal goal. And by an hourly fee of 100 euros, personal training is just too expensive. It surely is for me and statistically for you as well. So just imagine it was possible. We could train like the stars. Welcome to Liftwise. Liftwise preloads your training routine directly. Afterwards, our proprietary tracker tracks your every movement and gives you real-time feedback on your form, range of motion, and speed. Later, you get direct feedback on how to improve your training. But even the best workout is more fun doing it with friends, right? That's why we invented lift points. With lift points, you can compare yourself to your partners, no matter if you train with the same weights or do the same routine. But enough on what we do and more about where we come from, because just like you guys, we come from SIL. So I'm not going to talk more about the experience because you just did it yourself. But SIL had something in hand for me, and that was my co-founder, Moritz. And I'm really grateful we had the journey of SIL together because, first of all, it was a lot of fun. Of course, we spent a lot of time in SIL. But the main point was really that we had like the same mission, and the year in SIL really made it our mission and not only the mission of one of us. So even before the final pitch, we decided we would proceed after SIL. So we crafted a plan, and as Moritz was a bit ahead in studies, and he really wanted to go abroad for an internship, he did, and I catched up with my studies. But really, we wanted to apply for Exist. And Exist is a fund by the German government, which is mainly to support innovation from university. Roughly said, you get 100K for 3 people in a year, and you don't have to give away equity. So we wrote our application in 3 months, but there was something missing. Because you could take 3 people, and we had a lot of work to do, and 3 people means more money. So we had a few applicants, and we are so happy to have found Medita. Medita studies medical informatics in Tübingen. That suits our field really well, and she is now responsible for our front end. But Moritz and I had something to finish, and that was our studies, because we wanted to finish it before Exist to really make the best of it. And just as planned, we did. In March 24, we finished our studies and graduated at KIT. And at that point, we already knew that we would be granted Exist 2. So in April 24, we got funded by Exist. And really something changed because You know, doing it besides studying, it was like this chaotic thing we did in our free time. But suddenly it became our main job. And I felt like being pulled into the movie in time. Some of you remember it maybe. In the movie, you have like a counter on your arm and it runs down to 0, you die. And quite drastically said, sometimes I feel like that about my startup. Because now we have money for a year, but eventually it will be gone and we will need more money to sustain ourselves and our vision. Of course, there's good plans to prevent all of that, but still, sometimes you can feel the counter. And that caused a shift in our mindset, because now, instead of doing it on the side of the studies and being in a safe space, our mindset had to shift to sales, way more, to make money right away. And that's what I want to talk about a bit. But first, this is you. Most certainly. At least it was me at some point. Because as a child, I just liked to craft a thing, to play Lego. Maybe some of you did too. And if you're someone like me, you're still like that. Because I still like to play, and I believe engineers, it's in our DNA to craft things, to make cool stuff, to try things. But since starting a startup, also I came to the conclusion that sometimes we like it a bit too much. And what I mean by that is, if you start a startup, you have to build a minimal viable product. And what that means is, you basically have to build the product to a vision which has the minimal amount of features and can be sold. Most important thing. And as engineers, we like to have the visions of our product and how cool it's going to be and all the features it's going to have. And of course, there's a lot of ego and passion involved in that. But, you know, resources are scarce, especially when you are doing a startup. And I found this picture which can help me describe pretty well the mistakes that we have made on the path. Because we tried right away to build 2.3 before even trying to sell it. Not a good idea, I can tell you, because it takes a lot of time. And recently, with the mind shift change we did, talking a lot to VCs, investors, and stuff, I truly believe that when building your first product, you should find the single feature that solves the problem, which is point 1. Go there, it's not finished yet, try to sell it, get feedback, and at least at point number 2, really sell it. That's what we should have done, in my opinion, right now, after doing it wrongly. And what we try to do right now. So, maybe you remember the timer. If you try to go to step 3 or 4, the timer is going to run. Eventually it might run out and things may fall apart. So, don't do that. I don't want to end this note on a negative emotion. So I want to tell you, for nothing in this world, I would change the opportunity I have with Lift Eyes. I just love it too much. It's great. So if you have the plan, go for it, but do me a favor. If you want to build a product, only build the one feature that you need. Then sell it, and then proceed. Thank you so much. Oh, we have questions, right? Do we have questions? Oh yeah, sure. So I'm dancing salsa because I started dancing salsa recently.
Of course, if we have questions, we can have them.
No finance questions, like the fancy. Oh, yeah, the single feature. That's a good question, because actually we are trying to prove it right now. We have multi-features we did like quite quickly. And we will have a study in a few weeks to check for that, but most certainly it's going to be like the lift points, which will make you compare to yourself and to others, to see your progress right away. Yeah.
How did you found your third founder? Because I've heard it's mostly difficult to find a founder which fit in the team.
I mean, networking is a tough thing, and I think you need to find your own ways. Most certainly it's going to be by friends of friends of friends. And we didn't do a lot of LinkedIn stuff. It was always like abusing our networks. So yeah, go here, talk to people, and just ask for it, basically. And we found Medita by a student group, actually, by a friend of a friend from the student group, which was really good. Anything else? Or is someone coming up to dance?
I liked your MVP. I thought that was a really nice message. And one thing I might add is also a hypothesis testing product. It's also kind of a cool thing to look up, maybe, and check out as a little bit of a comment. But thank you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being here again. It's great to see your progress and to see how you, grow up into a real company out of SIL.
Yes.
Thank you so much to LiftWise.
Thanks.
All right, next up we have Desoltic, another alumni from last season. We need other slides, I think. Sorry.
Yeah, it was very great to see the journey of LiftWise, because our journey was, I would say, completely different. You will see in a moment. Perfect. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello, dear SIL teams. Very strong pitches I've heard and lots of nice ideas. I think I know how you felt here in front of the audience, because I was in your shoes last year. My team and I took part in the Student Innovation Lab 2023 and founded Desoltic. Unfortunately, the rest of my team can't be here today, but I want to tell you something about Desoltic, what we've done the last year, and how things can continue for you after the SIL. So, I want to start with a question. When you ask yourself, what do you think? How sustainable are electronics? How much CO2 is in every single chip in your smartphone? Apple has figured out that 1/3 of their global emissions come from the production of integrated circuits alone. The electronics industry is anything but sustainable and faces huge challenges to meet the sustainability goals set by the government. As Desoltic, we are convinced that the only profitable solution is to transform the electronics industry into a circular economy by reusing components. We are developing a fully automated desoldering line that desolders electronic components from printed circuit boards to give them a second life in another device. How does it look like in practice? We have developed 2 prototypes, the first one during the SIL and the second after the SIL, and we want to look on the second prototype, which focuses more on automation and looks in general much nicer. So in the beginning, there's a cobot. It places the printed circuit boards in our carrier system. Then comes a camera to recognize the chips. And if we know the exact position of the chips, then we can heat up the chips to stress the components as little as possible. And if the solder is liquid in the end, then we can pick the chips of the printed circuit boards. As I said, this nice looking prototype was developed after the SIL, but how came about it? I remember we were sitting upstairs in the SIL labs writing our submission for the business plan as we were contacted by Schneider Electric, and they are looking for a nice showcase for their Smart Production Solution Messe trade fair in November 2023. And they want to have Desoltic there on their booth. And in the beginning, we were overwhelmed because we have already planned our studies. My plan was to go abroad for 1 semester. Others from the team have planned to starting writing their master thesis. But we thought there won't be a second chance like this. And so we built this prototype within 3 months together with Schneider Electric. And then we stood at the SPS fair in Nuremberg for 3 days. It was a great opportunity to spread our vision to a large audience. And I would say this was also our door opener, and because this moment turned us from a study project into a real startup. And that's how we describe ourselves. We are founders of a startup, even if there's no limited company yet. And that brings me to my first tip: perform professionally. Invest time in your design, and then you will take it seriously. Talk about your ideas and rather shoot a little too high. Of course, you shouldn't explain something absolutely unrealistic, but people want to hear vision and not all the problems your prototype still has. I remember once an employee from Siemens said, "You've quite come a long way without being able to desolder properly." And yes, indeed, but I think that's how it works. And I think our prototype is the best example, because in June this year, SAP came to us and asked if they can have our prototype for their fair in Orlando in the United States, in Florida. And so our prototype went to the US and was there on the Sapphire 2024. That's the SAP flagship event. And there's also a nice opportunity. Many C-level managers were there present. And afterwards, the prototype was also brought to Barcelona, also to another trade fair from SAP. And then in the beginning of June, it came back to the KIT. That's my second tip: generate traction. Okay, maybe that's with SAP was a little bit lucky, but we also gave a lots of small interviews and invest lots of time in marketing. And it's crazy how much you find now on the internet if you Google Desaltic. I think that's how you build trust with future investors, and that you show that your idea is the right one and that others believe in your idea. And our latest highlight was the Startup BV Summit 24 in Stuttgart 2 weeks ago. Also a nice electronic fair where we had our own, for the first time, our own booth there. But we only got there through the Cyberlab. Because we took part in the Cyberlab Accelerator program in the beginning of this year, and it was a great opportunity to expand our network and also to be there. And that's my last tip: use the KIT's network. There's the Pionier Garage, the KIT Gründerschmiede, the Cyberlab, and many more in Baden-Württemberg, and they all want to support you, and everything is for free. They only need you. So I've heard a lot of great ideas today, and I think with the right team and if you believe in yourself, then you can make it really big. So use the spirit of this evening to turn your idea into reality.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for these two amazing talks.
I would
maybe
say we
questions
allow for
yeah, definitely.
3 or 4 questions from the audience also here. Do we have any? Overwhelmed by all the great pictures you brought us. Okay.
I don't want to get too much into it, but about your business model, who's going to pay for you?
Yeah. So in the beginning, we planned to be a service provider because there is already a market for reusing electronic components. For example, in Europe, there's one company called Retronics. They are reusing around 9 million components per year, but they're doing manually or by semi-automatic machines, and more for the rework process. So when something goes wrong, or when in the production line something went wrong. And many companies think about the circular economy. Also Infineon thinks a lot about it, but nobody knows really the business model yet. And so our plan is first to go into this rework market, and later to expand then this to a larger audience and to more other companies to implement this circular economy.
Have you secured some funding as of right now, or how are you managing to keep yourself above water?
Yeah, so actually we all doing our studies, or the first of our teams are now finishing their study, and now we are in contact with the KIT Gründerschmiede because we also plan to have some public funding. For example, the EXIST program, as Tito said, or also other research transfer programs. Also, for example, there's also one from the EXIST, and now we try to use this because we are also a bit lucky because there's one institute, the WBK, the Institute for Production at the KIT, and they support us a lot. And this is also the place where our prototype stands. And we hope that, yeah, with this in our backpack, it's easier to get some public funding.
One last question, yeah.
Hi Max, nice to see you here. So what role did Schneider Electric play during the 3 months of your accelerated production before the summit or the conference?
Yeah, so this was just a cooperation for this trade fair in November. And so all the robotics was sponsored by Schneider Electric. And at the moment, it was also owned by Schneider Electric, all the robotics, but now it was bought from the KIT, so now the prototype is owned by the KIT.
All right, thank you so much also to you for being here. And the best of luck to both of you. Yeah, let's see next year where you are then. Okay, we have time again for the voting. The jury is already back, so you can have a seat again. And while we wait for the voting of the audience, we are of course looking forward to hear then who won the 2 prizes awarded by the jury. And I think we have dedicated professors taking over now our job, right? While this is set up, maybe we can get some feedback from the jury. How hard was it to decide on someone today?
Oh. quite difficult this time, as always. I think we had wonderful products in any case, so therefore it was difficult to decide on which one is the best. And I think everybody has his own product in his mind, which would be the best product, but also the best presentation. So we had quite a little bit of debate between the professors and the jury members in total. Well and the only one who knows.
Yeah, so we hand over and we're excited to hear about the 3 winners today.
Now it's better, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Of course, we had discussion, but at the end, we had a decision driven by the majority. No? And what can I say? The best presentation was by Smolensk. No? Please come out. So maybe just take. No? So maybe I comment also for the jury. It was quite impressive the status of the hardware, and also the team presentation. So many of you were involved in the team, so showed us in the presentation, and so with that the majority was deciding for you. No?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Now we are coming to the best product. No? The best product is carbon jet. No? So maybe one of you take it. No? Okay. So the jury found this is really a good market, a good idea. Behind it also, in some sense, you used an existing patent from KIT technology. This is also for future SIL projects to look at what is available, IP in KIT, and maybe make a use out of it. So this was one of the reasons why we decided to give you the award for the best products. No? Okay. No? So, okay. Now we have also the darling of the public. Yeah? And the darling of the public is Smollers again. No? So again, yeah. So I can say I'm happy that it seems that the voting of the jury is the same as the whole group, Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I think this was a nice presentation. I think we have now 1 year. The students were working hard for 1 year, forming teams, and this was maybe not always easy, I would say. No? But I think the standard what we have seen today was, from my opinion, really very good. No? And we can use that to show other students for the next period, and to convince them to take part in this. From my opinion, really a very good. It's not a lecture; it's an experiment. So we are doing teaching on one way, but most of the work is done by the students, by yourself. No? And we saw also, meanwhile, that some of the teams, they were forming their startups. No? So this is what we wanted, what we intended. And so we hope that also from the teams today, we will see in future a real company. No? Okay, thank you thank you everybody for being here, for the work, for the professors, for the jury members, and also for the industry supporting us. I would say this is.
Maybe as a last thing, we have to say that this would not have happened without certain people. And it's about the SIL core team, but it's also about the Launch Lab team. So if you come up front, Christine, and of course, if Andy and Markus also come here. So we have to say, and Sophie, of course, yeah. So everybody who participated. So that's just to have the faces once to say a big thank you.
Yeah.
We have to squeeze a little bit. So, okay, yeah, it's okay. Also, a big thank you to all the sponsors, again, for providing help, providing your sponsorship. Would not have been possible. In particular, the new experiment, which started also today with the Launch Lab, and I think we heard a little bit about that this really helps the Student Innovation Lab groups and was inspiring. So I really like to invite you to talk and discuss with the students, in particular the Launch Lab, which are located over there, the Launch Lab students, but also there are some posters behind the blinds, so to say. So thank you again, and enjoy the afternoon. Thank you.